Joanne and Tim on location. Where am I? I'm at the United Way Food Resource Center. Is that what this is called?
That's where you are, Tim. We're right here.
This is my friend Maureen. Maureen, it's so nice to see you. And this is our elf. Hi, elf. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. This is a kitchen elf. You've heard of them. And this is my friend Joanna. Joanna is from, let me say it right, Algoma Family Services.
Yeah, you got it.
You have your own microphone. You don't need me.
I do have my own mic.
Yeah, and there's more elves everywhere. Hello, Elfie. Look at, I like your little Elfie hat. You're like the Grinch. But we're not going to be Grinchy today. We're going to be generous.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to be baking.
We're going to be cooking.
We're cooking, yeah. And we're going to be cooking Italian slider sandwiches.
That's correct.
Because it's a Susambury, and everybody in Susambury like Italian food, okay? That's, yeah. So, what do we do for, so by the way, this location, this is amazing. This was the former Croatian Hall.
Correct.
They have now leased it out to the United Way, and they have this incredible kitchen. Community kitchen is operating out of here. It's a food resource center. They're working on food security for the Algoma district. We're going to talk on the show later on. We're going to do a two-parter on this show. So we're going to do the community kitchen segment, but we're also going to talk about this amazing facility and the work that's going on here that the United Way has taken hold of, because food security is a real, well, to lift the community up out of harder times.
It's really a very important issue for the whole community.
It is. Because if you don't have a roof over your head and food in your mouth, how can you do anything, right?
You can't do anything until that's solved.
I'm no good unless I eat, so let's eat. Joanna?
Yes, so
what do we need?
holiday season is upon us. So I thought we would make some Italian sliders. If you're having last minute company come over, this only takes 10 minutes and it's super quick and delicious.
10 minutes, that's it?
Yep.
Brilliant, okay. What do we need?
So first I've already pre-cut these in half, so I'm just going to set them aside.
Did you do it or did the kitchen elves do it?
To be honest, one of my kitchen elves did it, but I'll take credit.
No. Was it
take
Grinch?
credit.
Did you? Okay, the Grinch did it.
No, I won't take credit.
I have my coffee here. I'm really good at standing and watching.
All right, so
You sliced all the buns in, I'm going to move this coffee, I don't need it right now. You sliced all the buns in half.
all the buns are in half. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put roasted red peppers on these ones, on the bottom half. So
Love roasted
Alex,
red
my
peppers.
lovely helper, is going to put the roasted red peppers on. So you can do one or two on each bun.
Now, this facility is one of several that you use to run the community kitchens, correct?
Yes, yeah. So I do all of my special kitchens here. They graciously let me use their kitchen. It's awesome and spacious. And then
It's a commercial kitchen. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous.
It has all the fixins in it.
Yeah.
And then we also have 6 locations throughout Sault Ste. Marie for community kitchens, 2 of which are open to the public. So if anyone's interested in participating, they just have to call us at Algoma Family Services.
Okay.
And our number is 945-5050.
Okay, we're going to put that on the screen underneath, 945-5050, and that's Algoma Family Services to register to participate in the community kitchen.
Yes, so if you're unfamiliar with community kitchens,
Yeah,
essentially...
let's pretend I don't know anything about them.
Essentially, it's just a small group of individuals. We come together and we cook a side, an entree, and a dessert. And all of our menu options are quick, simple, affordable, healthy, and I'd like to think that they're delicious.
Well, I'd like to think so too. Let's hope that ends up being true after this is
You're
over.
going to love these. You're going to make them at home.
I'm sure I am, because they already smell good and they're not even put together yet. So community kitchens, so what, is there a cost to this? You pay and then you participate and then you get stuff to take home, is that right?
If there is a cost, it's no more than $5.
No kidding.
Yeah, and you get enough food portions for yourself and your family.
Do you know how much a Big Mac is at McDonald's right now? Like $10.
Yeah.
So I would rather have something fresh and healthy.
Exactly. And if you're coming to the kitchens, a lot of the time we put a healthy spin on fast food. So for example, Crunchwrap Supremes at Taco Bell, we make it homemade. We have a homemade recipe for that. And if you're interested, you can see it on the Shaw.
I want that. The other thing is, I was going to say, so when they come in, the other benefit to this is not only are they paying $5 and they're getting food, they're also getting taught about healthy eating, about how to actually make these things at home, about budgeting, right?
Yeah, because I let them know like where the best deals are in town. A really good resource is the Flip app. That's what I use to do my grocery shopping for community kitchens. So it's nice that I'm able to tell people, okay, chicken's on sale here, so you should go hit that up.
Right on.
Yeah, and when you're eating healthy, that that benefits your mental health and well-being. So
Listen, absolutely. A good diet is so important to positive mental health. Good mental
100%.
health. Yeah, that's what we say about Maureen. Hi, Mike, don't be afraid to come in. Mike Delfrey's here, ladies and gentlemen. This whole thing, this whole United Way food security thing, Mike, come on over. I was just saying, you must be so happy. This is like a dream coming true.
start putting the ham on.
It's certainly
Yeah,
a
one
dream
per
coming
one.
true. I never would have imagined the partners and United Way and everybody could accomplish what we have in such a short period of time.
Well, it was just a little while ago that when we first started on TV, and you were one of my first guests on that show that I don't do anymore. It was too hard, but no, the morning show is still going strong. But we were talking then about food security, and you had just started here, and I can't even believe what's like it's becoming that incubator system that you've always wanted, where you're not just helping people, you're teaching people, right?
The capacity that we have because of this facility, but also because of the partnerships that have come together
Yes.
to both use the facility and just because they always wanted to do more together than they were doing alone.
Right.
And now we have a base of operations and we have facilities and equipment that they can do more.
Well, congratulations. And we're going to do another segment on this show later on, actually about the facility. So maybe we'll see you again. But right now, we have to get back to our elves. Look at how busy our elf is now. What's she doing
Yes.
now, Joanna?
Okay, so I had Emily
Thanks, Mike.
put one slice of Black Forest ham on each, and now I'm having Jada put a slice of mild salami.
Every elf gets their own meat.
Yes.
That's the idea. It pays to be an elf. Black Forest ham and then salami, but there's something else. What else
Yes,
is there?
now we have Nikki with the pepperoni.
Nikki, you're the pepperoni elf. Nikki, where do you work?
Algoma Family Services.
Do you? What's your title there?
I'm the Community Development Facilitator for Student Nutrition.
Student nutrition?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? You go around to the schools?
Yeah, I do. And the schools have a breakfast program that feeds the students in the schools. So I help them out with menus and anything that they.
That's very cool. What's that program that the mayor was really big on for the schools? Every breakfast counts?
Every breakfast counts.
Are you guys involved with that?
Yes, most definitely.
Oh, and they're going to be operating out of here too, right?
I believe so.
We're hoping.
Yeah,
We're hoping
they
that
are.
that's going to.
We're
Okay.
hoping that's coming right through
So
there.
much going on. How do you know how many to put? Do you just go with what your gut says as far as?
I'm eyeballing it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
You're eyeballing
I'm
it?
just
I don't want eyeballs on my sandwich. I don't like that.
You put as many pieces of pepperoni as you really want. And you can do different variations of this, like you can put
You could probably do prosciutto.
prosciutto, capicola.
Look at how you say it. Are you Italian?
I'm very Italian,
Say
yes.
I say prosciutto. What do you say?
Prosciutto?
That's so much better than how I say it. Say Parmigiano.
Oh, I don't say it like
What
that.
do you
I just
say?
say Parmesan.
Okay, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Whatever, Tim, whatever.
Is there going to be any cheese in these things?
Yeah, we're gonna have provolone cheese.
Provolone.
Yeah, and if you're picky and you don't like provolone cheese, you can do mozzarella. you
Why
can
would
do
someone not
cheddar.
like provolone?
My husband doesn't like provolone, and he's very Italian, so
What is it about the provolone he doesn't like? Do we know specifically?
he doesn't like the strong taste of it.
I don't think provolone's that strong, do you?
I don't.
So he prefers mozzarella.
He likes mozzarella.
Okay.
Or bocconcini.
I love bocconcini too. That's a form of mozzarella.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is who's this? Hi, Elf number 4.
All right, Alex, you're up again.
Oh, Alex, you're back in again. Oh, you did the red peppers.
I did the red pepper, yeah.
Hey, is that something that we can do in this kitchen at some point for a community kitchen? Can we learn how to roast red peppers? I'm looking off camera because there's the big boss ladies over there. Well, that would be so cool to be able to roast them and then jar them and yeah.
They're so yummy.
This is what they want to do here. The whole concept of this place, I just love. Provolone, and then are we going to bake these then?
We are going to bake them. We're going to just let them sit for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to pop them in the oven for 10 minutes.
Why are we going to let them sit?
Just so we're going to be putting like a butter and spice mixture on top of the buns, so it's going to have a nice chance to soak and get all the flavors in.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah,
Look,
slow
Maureen's
down.
reading
I have to.
the directions. So for a party, this would be great. What about for kids too?
Kids, my niece and nephew have tried these, and they really enjoy it. And if they're a little bit of a picky eater, you can switch up what you're putting in the inside.
Switch up your pudding. What?
Switch up what you're putting.
Pudding. Oh yes, pudding, not pudding. Oh look, a little piece of red pepper fell out of the bowl.
You can have that.
Nom 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 nom. So the mixture, pardon me, that's rude. The mixture we're gonna pour over this is
So it's going to be, butter, garlic powder.
The real thing, butter?
Yeah, Italian seasoning and onion powder. So we're gonna do 1 tablespoon, I've doubled this recipe.
Okay.
1 tablespoon of the Italian seasoning.
Okay, Elf Maureen. And it's so simple. I mean, all of this stuff is stuff you're gonna have in your kitchen. And what do you spend on this? What do you think this might cost?
I didn't spend more than $15 on this, but I also, you gotta think I doubled this
doubled the
recipe,
recipes.
so it'd be less than that.
And there's 6, 12, 18, oh, I just got
24.
24.
Just one.
24 sliders, 15 bucks. That's not even that's like 50 cents a sandwich. Is it? 15?
Math is not my strong suit,
I
Tim.
said there's 24 and 50 cents would be $12. So just about 75 cents a sandwich. That's a pretty good price for a slider.
And now you're going to warm this up in the microwave in 30-second increments.
Okay.
So I'll get,
We're gonna probably do a magic of TV thing. Daniel's really good at this. We'll be standing here with like that, and then when we come back, he's gonna do like a swipe thing, and when you come back, you'll be holding melted butter. Watch this.
there we go.
Relax. Look at that, like the magic of TV, melted butter, just like that. And oh, doesn't it smell great?
It smells
Now,
very Italian.
Tell Maureen what to do now.
So now you're going to dip that in the mixture and you're going to spread it over each bun.
I love those silicone kitchen tools. Those are great. I have some of those now too. So much easier to clean and more sterile than the real brush things.
Yes.
Hey, let's talk now while Maureen is glazing them with the butter and the herbs. Let's talk a little bit about the funding for community kitchens.
Yeah, so Community Kitchens is made possible through the funding of the United Way and
Thank you, Maureen, and United Way for funding community kitchens.
And DSAB.
DSAB, which stands for the District of Sault Ste. Marie Social Services Administrative Board. How's that? Thank you to DSAB and to United Way for making all this possible for feeding. Now, are there programs that are specifically for children? We talked about the school programs. We talked about the Every Breakfast Counts. So are there programs that are specifically geared to preparing food for kids?
So I have done special kitchens for children.
Yeah.
So with the Every Breakfast Counts program, I went to all of the community hubs and I did a kids kitchen. So we did cucumber sushi, beach parfaits, healthy banana splits, cream cheese salsa roll-ups. So we did a variety of those. And then during Children's Mental Health Week in May, I'm going to be doing some kitchens with students as well.
Fantastic.
So that'll be happening in the future.
Okay, love it. Now, we have to let this sit for about 5 minutes, you said,
Yeah, and
while
I'm
all the
gonna cover it
juices
with-
get absorbed into the buns.
Yes.
And then, I know, then we're gonna bake it.
Yeah, and I'm going to cover it with tin foil first, though.
Oh, okay, well, you know what? You cover it with tin foil while Maureen and I talk some more. I'm gonna go on this side now, Maureen. So what else is going on with the United Way these days? What other campaigns you got going on? Anything you want to talk about? Are we aiming for goals this year that we need to help you fundraise?
We have to raise by 2021, $6,250,000. We're at $3,300,000 right now. So
Can I ask, how long is it taking you to raise the $3 million?
this is midway through our third year.
And 2021 you said, so we got to double that.
At the end of 5 years, we need to double it right now.
We need to double it, and we have
2.5 years to do that.
okay, we got to get busy.
We've got to definitely get busy, but we get lots of support from our workplaces and the community. And we have actually a hockey tournament going on right now with the Ministry of Natural Resources. All the folks that play hockey during the season put on a tournament for United Way. So today is the finals and semifinals for that at noon at John Rhodes. So they raise a fair amount of money for us through their special events, as do all of the workplaces.
So folks out there, if you're looking for a charity to support and a good cause, United Way would love for you to do a fundraiser for them and contact my friend Maureen right there. All right. So you've wrapped it in foil. Can you walk, Daniel? Do.
Yes, so we're going to pop it in the oven for...
Look at this. Isn't this kitchen amazing? This is the kitchen from the Croatian Hall. They get to use this now for community kitchens and for food security and to teach people. And
Yes.
I love it.
So 10 minutes at 350. And I'm going to turn this on, but it's going to get very loud. So maybe we'll do some
We're going to do
magic.
some more kitchen magic. Are you ready? And when we take this out, they're going to be ready to eat.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
What? Daniel's saying, go back this way? I'm going to go back this way.
Okay.
Okay, and now I'll do my magical, okay.
Okay.
Ba-dum, bum, ba, We're back. Now, are everybody ready? Elves? Santa Mike? Mrs. Claus? Let's try our slider. This, you can do this. Probably prep time, cook time within half an hour.
Yep.
And you're gonna feed. Oh my God. Thank you, Joanna.
You're welcome.
Tell me again, with our mouths full, about Community Kitchen, how we get involved.
So if you're interested in volunteering or participating, you can just give me a call at Algoma Family Services. So our number is 945-5050, and just...
Hold that for a second.
Yeah.
945-5050.
And then just ask to be connected to Community Kitchens, and they'll direct you to me.
All right, and my friend over here from United Way. How do we get involved with United Way if we want to volunteer our time or find out more about the programs you have going on?
You can check us out at our website at uwssmalgoma.ca, or you can call us at 705-256-7476.
Maureen Dodd, Mike, thank you, Mike Delfrey, Joanna, whatever your last name is, and all of our elves from Algoma Family Services. Thank you so much for hosting us here today, and stay tuned for more about this amazing facility here, the United Way's, what's it called again?
Food Resource Center.
Thank you. We'll be back with more, and more mornings with Luann and Tim also. After this, don't go anywhere. More sliders for me. Manja, manja, everybody. One of my favorite things about my job here at ONNtv with Mornings with Luann and Tim is when I get to bring in musical guests. And I know when I bring in Rusty McCarthy, I can count on him bringing along some top quality talent. Janet Gassy, Janet Brown.
Yes.
I knew you as Janet Gassy when we went to high school together.
We sure did.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown. We were in that show together, weren't
Yes.
we? Crazy how long ago that was.
Sure is.
We look amazing, don't we, Janet?
We certainly do.
Rusty's, you do. If you have a little bit of work, Rusty, you can look as good as we do. Janet, and music is in your genes. The Gassy family is renowned in Sault Ste. Marie. There's a couple branches of the Gassy family. Your family, there's you and your brother. His name is?
My brother Ray.
Ray is
yes.
well known to Rusty,
To Rusty.
certainly.
He recently moved back to the Sioux. So
Yeah, I
yes.
heard he's been
Yeah.
playing again.
Yeah, he has.
And then there's the cousins. My goodness, there's Chuck, and there's Gloria, and there's Eugene, and there's Carmen, and there's, I forgot one
Vince.
more, Vince.
Yes.
Amazing. And what's really kind of cool is that your daughter, Shanna, you passed the music on to your daughter.
I did.
Shanna,
yes.
I had the privilege of working with your daughter. She starred as Mary Poppins here in the Sioux when
Yes,
she had
she
come back to
did.
town to teach.
Yep.
She's moved back to Southern Ontario again, but I didn't know this until you told me. Your cousin Gloria taught Shanna
At university, yes.
at Western.
At Western, yes.
When she studied music
Yes,
down
she
there.
did.
Small world, right?
It is, it certainly is.
Now,
Yeah.
did you ever study, Janet, through any music instruments, whatever?
I did take some piano lessons a few years back,
Yeah.
and as well in high school, I took a couple years of vocal music with Sister Mary Salmon.
Sister Mary
Do you remember
Salmon,
her?
she's still around.
Yeah,
She still plays in the symphony.
She is, yeah.
Amazing.
And just playing with friends, and I'm in a band now.
You
I've
do
been
front
for-
a band, right?
I do. I'm in a band called Encore. I've been in this band for about 6 years. So
But you've been a band singer for a long
yeah,
time.
it goes way back. I played with in Taliesin years ago when I was about 18. So
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
Now, are you soloing for this event that Rusty's put together, or are you bringing Encore with you?
I am playing 3 songs with Rusty and the band,
yeah.
and then I'm bringing up 2 of the Encore members, Paul Glassford and Dave Repath, and we're going to do 2 tunes from A Star Is Born.
The movie?
The movie.
Ooh, the Gaga stuff.
Yes, yes.
I love it, I
Lady
love it,
Gaga.
okay.
So I'm excited about that.
Rusty, you do really cool stuff. Now, you're running under this event that we're talking about, Little Lilith Fair. And I guess the concept is you know so many talented female vocalists, female musicians, female artists. You decided to get them all together and do a fundraiser.
Yeah, I was just going through, the next quarter booking stuff into the pub, and I just realized how many female names that I sort of add to my mail out to ask people for dates. I went, we should just get them all together on a stage.
Yeah,
and
I'm
so-
standing close because my microphone is going to be picking up your vocals. 'Cause
Hello, Tim.
you're only. I didn't tell them you were going to talk, but I figured I should let you speak.
Okay.
On the screen behind me, and we might be able to put this up. I'm sure Mike, Dan, and Mike can put this poster up for us later on. The lineup of talented females that you have for this Little Lilith Fair. This is being aired on the Friday, which is the day of the first day, Friday,
Right, yeah.
November the 30th, 9 p.m. the Water Tower Pub.
That's right.
And this is, as I say, a fundraiser for women in crisis to do amazing things for women who have experienced trauma, whether it's assault or whether it's abuse in a relationship. It's a place where they can go for security, comfort, for counseling, and for other services to help them stay safe. Anybody can walk up to Women in Crisis, knock on the door 24/7 and say, I need help. And they've got a bed for you and your children as well, provide safety, and also will talk you through any of the services you need to survive an assault. So great cause.
Yep.
And once again, it's a two-nighter.
Yeah.
There's that much talent, Rusty.
Well, we couldn't fit them all in one night.
No, and we've got, of course, Janet, Valerie Powley, well-known, Britta Wolford, Ellen Van Laar, Maya Bannerman. Circular Vibrations, didn't know, it's a drummers group, a ladies drummers
Yes.
group. Really cool addition. Leslie Neshkoway, all the way from Manitoulin.
She is. Yep.
And Annette Kaznersak. Kaznersak, did I say that right? Kaznersak? Who knows? Annette.
Okay.
Shirley Cominos, Catherine Taddo, she's been on the show. Lise White from across the river, and fancy that, we love her. Kelly McGilvery, Sue Martinelli's coming home to
Yeah.
perform with Kelly again. And Circular Vibrations again, Maya Bannerman again. Penny Gribben and Kara Kollenuk from the theater scene coming out to perform as well. And Janet, you're going to honor us with a song right now.
I guess I am.
And we're going to see you. Which night are you there? You're there
I'm
on the
there Friday
Friday.
night.
Are you going to go on Saturday and support the team?
I would love to, but I can't because I have a Christmas party.
You got a gig. All right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome back to the show our friend Rusty McCarthy and my dear friend Janet Brown to perform an old Linda Ronstadt tune. Take
Thank
it
you,
away,
Tim.
Janet,
Thanks,
and
Tim.
break a leg on the night. And thanks for doing this for Women in Crisis.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve.
Yes.
Thank you. I feel so bad, I got a worried mind. I'm so lonesome all the time. Since I left my baby behind on Blue Bayou, saving nickels, saving dimes, working till the sun don't shine, looking forward to happier times on Blue Bayou. I'm going back someday, come what may, to Blue Bayou, where the folks are fine and the world is mine on Blue Bayou, where those fishing boats with their sails afloat, if I could only see that familiar sunrise through sleepy eyes, how happy I'd be. Gonna see my baby again, gonna be with some of my friends, maybe I'll feel better again on Blue Bayou, saving nickels, saving dimes, working till the sun don't shine, looking forward to happier times on Blue Bayou. I'm going back someday, come what may, to Blue Bayou, where the folks are fine and the world is mine on Blue Bayou, where those fishing boats with their sails familiar sunrise through sleepy eyes, how happy I'd be. Oh, that boy of mine by my side, the silver moon and the evening tide. Oh, some sweet day gonna take away this hurting inside. Well, I'll never be blue, my dreams come true. On Blue Bayou.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just love hearing you sing again. It's been a while. You Sound of Music we did together too. Which sister were you? What was your name?
Sister Sophia.
Sister Sophia.
Yes.
Come back and do a show with us
I
again
will.
sometime with the
Yes,
Comedy
I would
Guild.
love to do that.
And you, sir, you've worked with the Comedy Guild before. Maybe one day we'll do a show together with you in the
You
pit.
never know.
That'll be kind of fun, Rusty.
With that wonderful English accent of
My
yours.
British accent that I used in Mamma Mia. Okay, so listen, Friday night, that's tonight. You're seeing the show today, Friday, 9 p.m. tonight at the Water Tower Pub. Also Saturday, December the 1st, Water Tower Pub. Janet Brown, I keep doing that. Janet Brown, and a whole roster of talented female artists from Sault Ste. Marie and the Algoma District. Don't miss out and support Women in Crisis. We'll be back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim right after this. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because Santa Claus is here. We're at the Station Mall and we're hoping to talk to some children before or after they have a visit with Santa to talk about what their Christmas wishes are for this holiday season. So let's see if we can get some interviews in with some little ones or some big ones and find out what's on their wish list this winter. I'm with Cassie. Cassie, and River. Hi, River. River just had her very first ever visit with Santa, yes?
Yes.
Cassie, how old is River?
She's 14 months.
14 months and didn't cry at all? No. And did she ask for anything for Christmas? She probably can't talk yet, can she?
No, not really.
If you could make a wish on behalf of your beautiful daughter, River, Cassie, what would your wish be for Sault Ste. Marie this Christmas?
Just to be happy and healthy.
Happy and healthy, and ho ho ho. She's just beautiful. Does she have a Christmas list already made up?
A little one.
A little one. All right. Well.
Looking for a sled.
All right. Well, you go and find a sled and maybe some reindeer. Oh, you're just the most beautiful girl. You're gonna give me a smile? Yes, you are. She gave me a smile. Well, ho ho ho. Merry Christmas, and I'm glad you met Santa Claus. Bye bye.
Bye.
Can you say bye bye?
Bye.
Merry Christmas. Oh, I got away. Talk to Danica right now. Danica was who did you just visit?
Mama.
And who did Mama hand you over to? Who was that man?
Daniel.
Oh, that's Dada behind the camera, but who's the man that you just saw with the beard? What was his name? Was it Santa?
Yeah.
Tell me what his name is?
Santa.
Santa. What did Santa give you? What's in your hand, Danica?
This.
What is that?
I'm a candy cane.
He gave you a candy cane?
Yeah.
Danica, is Santa gonna come to your house?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's he gonna bring you? Is there anything that you would like for Christmas? Do you have a little present you would like to get from Santa Claus?
Yeah.
What do you think you would like for Christmas this year, Danica? Do you want a little dolly?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you want a little bicycle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want a brand new house? Well, that's a pretty heavy list. Mom, what do you think?
I think one or two of those things is possible.
Was this Danica's first time meeting Santa Claus?
This year, yeah.
This year. Okay, but she's met him before.
She has met him last year.
Oh, Santa's an old friend of yours. Uh-huh. Well, what can you tell? Can you do me a favor and say to the camera? Can you say Merry Christmas? Can you say Happy Holidays? Can you say ho ho ho? Can you say absolutely nothing? Good job. Merry Christmas, Danica. Thanks for being on TV. Thanks, Mom.
No problem.
Found 3 Santa's elves. Tell me your name.
Craig.
Tell me your name.
Dennis.
Tell me your name.
Kyle.
I just like talking like Kyle. You guys are from Southern Ontario. Tell me where you're from there, Craig.
I'm from the Owen Sound area.
And Dennis is from?
I'm from Vaughan.
And
Kyle. St. Catharines.
right on. What are you doing at Sault Ste. Marie?
We're all taking the aviation program.
At Sault College?
Yep. 3rd year.
3rd year, you, all of you?
Yep.
Right on. How are you liking Sault Ste. Marie, guys?
That's not bad.
Not bad. It's not bad. You just had a visit with Santa?
Oh, yeah.
Was he good to you?
Very.
Did he tell you were naughty or nice this year there, Dennis?
A little bit of both.
And what about Christmas wishes? Kyle, do you have a Christmas... Craig, Kyle. Hi, Craig, do you have a Christmas wish this year?
Just to be home with the family.
Nice. Do you have a chance to do that this Christmas?
Yeah.
Be home? Yeah, back down to Owen Sound area. What about for you? Any Christmas wishes for you there, Dennis?
Just a successful year. Finish up school and hopefully see what the future holds.
Yeah. You want to get a job?
Yeah, I want to get a job.
Okay, you're asking for too much now. And then what about Kyle? Any Christmas wishes for you?
Just be home with the family, have a good visit with them. That's it.
Right, guys, listen, you know what? Thanks for stopping with us. You obviously have great senses of humor. You posed with Santa. All the best to you this holiday season.
Thank you very
and
much.
enjoy the rest. Best of luck to you when you graduate. And don't ever forget Sault Ste. Marie. Come back and visit us.
All right.
Maybe even move here and pay some taxes. Merry Christmas, guys. That's asking a little much. Bye-bye. Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim and Teddy. Hi, Teddy Surratt.
Hello.
Teddy Surratt is a dear old friend of mine. Well, not so old.
Very old.
It's been a while, though. We met when you were a teenager, and I don't even want to know how old you are now, but what a life you've been having, man.
Thank you.
So we met through theater, and we are both gay men.
Yes.
I don't know whether or not you were identifying as gay when we met, but were you? I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I came out as gay when I was like 12 years old.
Oh my
even when
gosh.
I was gay before all the other gays came out in theater. I remember like the first show I did, like the first musical I did, I think I was 17 and I was already out.
Yeah.
And so everyone knew me as like the gay native guy, and I was like, well, the only native guy in the theater at that time.
Yeah.
But I could tell like there was other people there, and I'm like, okay, I think we're all gay. Like,
you know,
I'm not saying that they're all gay people go to theater, but there was a lot of
yeah. There's something about being up north. The gaydar doesn't work the same way up north as it does.
No.
You find that too?
No, we don't have a Church Street in Northern Ontario. We have musical theater.
We do.
We have community theater.
Exactly.
The gays have.
So, and you know what? So I kind of tease you by saying, yeah, you had a double whammy, man. You were gay and Indigenous. But truly, I mean, so you had two different reasons for people to discriminate against you.
Yeah,
honestly.
there was like a lot of different fodder giving to like different bullies as soon as I walked into a room, and I didn't even have to say a goddamn thing.
Right.
Oh, I didn't have to say anything. I'm sorry, Tom.
We might be able to beat that out. I don't know. It's not live anyway.
My background's in bingo, so.
Oh, so you can. So listen, tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up for you, because I know my story. I'd like to hear a little bit. We're decades apart. I mean, I was a teenager in the 70s.
Yeah.
You were a teenager in the 90s. Yeah. Okay. So what was your experience like growing up in Sault Ste. Marie and on the reserve?
I think it was really different. It was really challenging for some people. I know there's people out there who they'll say I haven't experienced any kind of aspects of like racism, or like all my family was accepting, my community was really accepting. I was never bullied in high school. Well, I was like the total opposite. That
was not your story.
It was not my opposite. That was not my story. Because when I came out, I was gay when I was 12. When I realized what gay was.
Mm-hmm.
Like there would be bullies in elementary school, and they would ask, they're like, Teddy's gay. I think Teddy, you're a homo. And I'm like, yeah, I think I am.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what that word is, but it doesn't sound straight.
I found out the definition of homosexual when I was about 13 and kind of like, oh, maybe that's what I am. You know what I mean?
Where did you learn the definition?
Where did I learn the
Yeah,
definition?
I'm interviewing you.
That's a
sorry.
good question. It certainly wasn't in school.
Okay. Yeah.
It must have been from television or something.
Okay. Yeah. See, for me, it was I had we didn't have like access like to computer or Wi-Fi or anything at that time. But the one thing that I did have access to was books. So I really liked to read when I was a kid, and I was reading more like advanced stuff because my parents were also very big in the media. So I was reading newspapers as well, and just like learning what these words were and figuring I was like, hey, what did all this mean?
Right.
So when I learned about the word homosexual or the word gay, it was in HIV/AIDS resource books.
Okay.
So when I was learning, at the same time about learning what it meant to be gay or homosexual, I was also learning about the impacts of HIV and AIDS on the
gay population.
The gay population itself.
Yeah.
So growing up, it was one thing to be mindful of like, okay, I have to be mindful of who I am because I'm a brown person, because I'm from a reserve, I'm Native, because I'm gay and I'm flamboyant and I'm feminine. So that's going to make it feel unsafe for me to go into those spaces. But also, if I'm engaging in any kind of sex practices, that I have to make sure that I'm keeping myself protected and other people protected by using condoms and safe sex practices.
It's an awful lot for a teenager to cope with, isn't it, Teddy?
Well, like this was like even before before I was like 13, where I was just because I had my mother always said that she was like, you're either going to be a cop or a social worker because you ask so many bleeping questions all the time. Because I was always asking more, and like because I grew up watching television and movies, so I was like, okay, why did that person do that? Okay, why were those two people together? Why are all those people fighting or treating all these other people with hatred or animosity?
Yeah.
And so I had my one auntie in Garden River, so she's LGBTQ as well. So she kind of figured that I was like a bit different. So she would take me to different movies. So I remember the first movie she took me to was Schindler's List. And I was a small little child, like I was a little one. And she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna see what his reaction is and see what he thinks. And so I was thinking about it too, and I was like, well, that's really it's really hard. I can't believe anybody would treat other people like that with such hatred and animosity. And she said, well, it did happen. So I was learning about the Holocaust, and then she's like, well, there's something like similar that happened here in Canada to Indigenous people when you're looking at cultural genocide of like residential schools, reservations, the Indian Act, and you being a First Nations and Native person should know what that is. So it's a really big concept to understand, but it was something that she's like, I think he can be okay learning about this. I think it's compared to what the other kids are learning. But it was around that same time too that she brought me to go see The Birdcage with Nathan Lane and Robin Williams.
Talk about opposite sides of the
Very
spectrum.
opposite. Well, because she's like, okay, I think he's really clever and I think he's smart because I think he asks a lot of questions, but I think he's also pretty flamboyant and flaming because look at him. He tumbled out of that closet. And so she took me to The Birdcage, and she asked me afterwards. She's like, "So how did you like the movie?" And I was like, "Well, I was like those boys who were so pretty, Auntie." I was like, and like those two men were happy, and everyone loved each other, and it was funny, and it was like it was just a great story, Auntie. And she's like, "Yeah, he's gay. It's just no doubt about it. He is a little homo."
So now, and what's really cool about your culture, about First Nations, about Indigenous culture, is the two-spirited, what would you call it, a philosophy? I don't know. What do you call it?
The two-spirit is a very modern terminology in itself. So it came to an elder by the name of Myra Laramie out in Manitoba during the 1990s, and it came to her in a vision. And around that time, it was where the HIV/AIDS epidemic was running rampant, and even more so in Indigenous communities because there wasn't a lot of information or resources going to Indigenous communities compared to non-Indigenous communities where the HIV/AIDS movement was treated differently. So what was happening is that you saw a lot of people suffering, and at the same time, there was also a lot of people being forced out of their homes or forced out of the community because of homophobia or transphobia or biphobia. So the term that came to being was niche Manaduk. So that's an Anishinaabe term or an Ojibwe term for niche is the number 2. Yes. Manadu is spirit. Okay. And the K at the end or for the uk is like the pluralization of it. Okay. So and so there's different variations of it as well, depending on who you're talking to, depending on the dialect. But that in itself is an inclusive term for Indigenous people or First Nations people who identify as being either gender diverse or non-binary or gender fluid, and also being queer or lesbian, gay, or bisexual. So
And the concept is that they are almost like gifted with the sort of the strengths of both male and female. Is that the idea behind Two Spirited?
so kind of like in a general concept of it is understanding that there is like a balance between masculinity and femininity.
Right.
There is that debate sometimes where people will tell you that it is only exclusive to gender identity and not attraction or sexuality. And there'll be other people who tell you that it is. But the one thing is for certain is like that the term Two-Spirit might be a modern term, but the concept of gender diversity and same-sex relationships or same-sex partnerships existed here on Turtle Island before colonization or European influences ever existed.
Yeah.
And the term itself was very important and very dear to Indigenous folks too, is because it was a terminology that was centered on Indigenous identities. Separately from Western concepts or Western ideologies to gender and sexuality. So even like terminology like lesbian, gay, bisexual, homosexual, transgender, not language or terminology that a lot of Indigenous people will use or even have in their own teachings. So the term Two-Spirit is a modern term, but it is something, but the concept has always existed here of what that inclusion looked like.
But you've gone away and you've gathered so much information, and you've become a true advocate. And we're going to take a commercial break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about your advocacy work that has led to. There's a beautiful picture there of you receiving the Peace Award from the YMCA, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So more with Teddy Surratt coming up right after this break. So Teddy, it wasn't easy growing up as a brown-skinned gay guy in Northern Ontario. Which reserve your garden river?
Batchewana.
Batchewana First Nation.
Rankin Reserve, Batchewana.
Rankin Reserve, because I remember driving you home a couple times.
Yeah.
There was a dog in the side yard.
After rehearsal, like rehearsal or theater.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Not after a night on the town. No. So anyway.
A couple of times. Oh my God.
Wasn't there a dog in your side yard?
There's a couple of dogs in my side yard right now.
Anyway, so then you left the Sioux.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I went to Toronto.
Okay.
There was an opportunity to do Two-Spirit queer trans Indigenous advocacy for an organization down there.
Did you learn a lot when you went away to do that work?
I did. I learned that the communities are very complex, and that a lot of times when you go into different places, sometimes for me, I was very lucky that I traveled to and from Toronto, so I already had a base of supports there. But it made me really reflect on what was missing in my own community here in Sault Ste. Marie, and what work still needs to be done when it comes to building safer spaces or inclusion for LGBTQ people and Indigenous people.
Okay.
But it made me really tie in to make me think of how communities are very complex, but they're also very the same. So a lot of the same issues that are happening here in Sault Ste. Marie can be seen happening in Toronto. And with my ability to travel to different places in Turtle Island in Canada, I'm able to see what some of those issues look like. And one of those issues that really stand out to me is poverty and homelessness.
Yes.
Because going to like bigger cities and then going to smaller cities and just seeing issues of housing issues for people who and sometimes opening those conversations and trying to find out maybe it's like how many of those people are also influenced or impacted by their own gender and sexuality, and do aspects of homophobia or transphobia play into those barriers for those folks. But it's a very alarming issue, and I think it's quite alarming to come back to Sault Ste. Marie all the time too and see those issues of poverty and homelessness still here.
Still here.
So hopefully with the city council that just happened and with the new leadership that we have formed, that maybe some of those barriers or challenges can be faced here in Sault Ste. Marie at home, and maybe can be brought over to other places elsewhere.
Fulfilling work for you now, as you are, you're basically self-employed. You do public speaking, you do advocacy work, do you do workshops and that kind of stuff too, Teddy?
Yeah, so I do workshops on what it means to be LGBTQ and Indigenous, and Two-Spirit to different high schools, colleges, universities, and smaller communities and agencies. So yesterday I was at Aboriginal Ontario Aboriginal Housing. So I was speaking with them at their staff meeting the other day.
Yeah.
And I know there's a youth program that I'm going to be speaking to, and I forget the name of it, so I apologize, next Friday here in Sault Ste. Marie. And then on Monday, I'm actually going to be hosting a Pay What You Can all-access workshop at Cafe Natura on Monday, December 10th at 6 p.m. So, and that's going to be just like my workshop talking about Two-Spirit LGBTQ identity, because I realize that I come back to the Soo all the time to do different work with different agencies, but my work isn't always accessible to the community. So I think that's going to be an opportunity for folks in the community to come and just have that conversation and see what I have to say, whether I say it right or wrong.
And the community has responded very favorably toward the work that you've been doing now since you left the city, and what you keep bringing back to us, and hence the award that received the Mayor Christian. And tell me who this lady is here.
So that's Roseanne Archibald. So she's the regional chief of Ontario.
Wow!
So she was the keynote speaker of that.
She was the
that
keynote
morning.
speaker. Mm-hmm. And then you were received. Do you have the medal? Did you bring it in on camera?
Oh no, I did. But I do have like this.
You have
little,
the pin version.
The little
of it?
pin.
It's a beautiful medallion though that you got.
It
It's
is a
about that big
medallion.
around. Weighs a ton. It's like a hockey puck.
It's like a slammer from Pog. It's like a peace Pog. That's what it is.
And tell us the criteria for that award, Teddy.
The Peace Medal, the YMCA Peace Medal goes to anybody in a community member who demonstrates different leadership when it comes to accessing awareness or inclusivity and diversity, and also who is really embedded in their community and who has a general sense of leadership.
Do you see a change when you do come home? Do you see a change since you grew up here? Do you see a different mentality in the city and in the high schools or around?
I think so. I think it was like in essence there has been a definite change. I think from what you have seen from growing up from the 70s and from me growing up in the 90s. Because I remember when I first came out and I was facing a lot of issues with high school and like attendance and being bullied. And it's I asked a guidance counselor and they're like, so what's going on? And I'm like, I think I'm gay. And they're like, okay, well I don't know how to really speak to you about that, but luckily for you, I have a poster. So that guidance counselor was just managed to find, like someone had emailed her a poster saying there was an LGBT youth group happening in Sault Ste. Marie. I was 15 years old, and she's like, I don't know how to assist you, but I know this poster could be helpful to you, so maybe you should go to it. And she's like, I think you're supposed to go to it. That person was Karen Thompson. So I saw her a couple of years ago when I was back here from Toronto, my first Christmas back, and I just saw her in the Station Mall, and I just went up to her and I was like, hi. I was like, I don't know if you remember me, but I was like, but I'm Teddy. You used to be my guidance counselor. And she's like, oh, I remember you. And she's like, how was everything? And I was like, it's really good. And I just had to thank her and just say, I was like, you saved my life.
Yeah.
You were one person who might have only had a poster, but that poster was so fulfilling and so meaningful because that brought me to see other people in the community who were youth, who were like me, who were gay. And a year later into that youth group that I went to, I saw I met another Indigenous First Nations youth who was also gay. And that tension that was lifted when it came to being isolated, when you're thinking not only do I feel like I'm the only gay person, but I'm the only gay native person. So when I saw this gay youth walk into this group, it was like one of those things where he was like, you! And I was like, you! And he was like, where have you been? And I was like, I've been in Thunder Bay. And I was like, oh, I've been here. Oh my gosh. So for even the whole entire workshop, people were like, you guys have to quiet down. And they're like, no, you have to quiet down because I'm just seeing this person. It's the first brown native person that we've ever seen each other. So even to seeing what that looks like today, where we have Soo Pride that's celebrating in their 5th year that happened this summer, where you see Shabby Molly still hosting monthly coffee nights for Soo Pride and trans coffee nights on every first December of the month, and Maker North doing LGBTQ arts and crafts and stuff. There's a lot of progress that's being made. There's still a lot of progress and work that needs to continue on, and that needs to also be led from LGBTQ people and two-spirited people as well, but also from allies and straight people in the community as well. So, and I always encourage folks, is like, if you don't know what to do to provide allyship or support or advice, just try anything, make those mistakes. And that's one of the sacred teachings that I come from, is humility. And as if you make mistakes, you learn from them and you move forward in a good way. So I tell, if anybody wants to support or LGBTQ or two-spirited people, just try it no matter what. Just love them and respect them the same way that you want to be loved and respected.
I think that's probably a nice way to end our interview. Teddy, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
For all you've done and for all you continue to do. I'm going to get choked up, so we're going to say
Okay.
goodbye before I lose it. Teddy Surratt, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the recipient, not winner, recipient. You didn't win anything, you earned it. Recipient of the YMCA Peace Medal. And my friend. We'll be back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim after this.